The brutal truth. What a narcissist secretly does when they know you're never coming back. Have you ever reached that breaking point in a relationship with a narcissist? That moment where you finally truly decide enough is enough? You draw a line in the sand, maybe even walk away. But have you ever wondered what goes on in their mind when they know deep down that this time is different? That you're not coming back? On the surface, they might rage, they might plead, they might even seem indifferent. But beneath that carefully constructed facade, a secret, often desperate process unfolds. What do they really do when they realize their control is slipping away forever? What are the hidden tactics they employ when their usual manipulations fail because they sense your resolve? This isn't about the dramatic outbursts. It's about the subtle, often insidious things they secretly do when they know they've lost their grip on you for good. Today, we delve into the fascinating and often unsettling world of the narcissistic mind at this critical juncture. We'll explore the psychological mechanisms that kick in when their fear of abandonment is truly triggered, and the surprising, sometimes disturbing actions they take behind the scenes. If you've ever been in this situation, or if you're currently navigating the complexities of a narcissistic relationship, what we're about to discuss will offer profound insight and validation. Stay tuned, because understanding this can be the key to your lasting freedom and healing. Welcome back, everyone. It takes immense courage to reach the point where you decide you can no longer endure a relationship with a narcissist. It often follows a long cycle of idealization, evaluation, and discard, leaving you emotionally exhausted and questioning your own reality. But what happens in the narcissist's mind when they truly grasp that the discard is final, that their attempts to hoover you back in will fail, that you are never coming back? Based on psychological understanding of narcissistic personality disorder, let's explore the secret things they often do at this pivotal moment. 1. The secret internal panic and desperation. Despite their outward bravado or seeming indifference, when a narcissist truly believes they have lost you permanently, they often experience a significant internal panic. Their entire sense of self is precariously balanced on external validation, on what psychologists refer to as narcissistic supply. You are a source of this supply. Your admiration, your attention, your emotional reactions, even your struggles within the relationship fed their ego. When that consistent source is definitively cut off, it creates a void, triggering deep-seated fears of abandonment and worthlessness that they have spent their lives trying to suppress. Psychologically, this isn't the healthy sadness of a normal breakup. It's a threat to their very sense of self. They may not consciously acknowledge, "I miss them," or "I made a mistake." Instead, their internal monologue is likely dominated by thoughts like, "How dare they leave me? Who will give me what I need? I am losing control." This internal panic can manifest in various outward behaviors, but the underlying feeling is one of profound desperation to re-establish control and secure a new or former source of supply. They might secretly obsess over your social media, inquire about you through mutual acquaintances, or even engineer accidental encounters, all fueled by this hidden panic. 2. The intensified hoovering attempts behind the scenes. Hoovering is a well-known tactic narcissists use to suck their former partners back into the relationship. It can range from seemingly innocent texts or calls to grand gestures and promises of change. When a narcissist senses that their usual hoovering attempts are no longer effective, that you are truly resistant, they often intensify their efforts behind the scenes. This might involve more elaborate and manipulative tactics that you may not even be aware of. Psychologically, their desperation to regain control and supply escalates. They might try to triangulate you with others, spreading rumors or lies to undermine your support system or make you doubt your own decisions. They might contact your friends or family, painting themselves as the victim and you as the unreasonable or unstable one. They might even feign a crisis or emergency to elicit your sympathy and draw you back in. These behind-the-scenes manipulations are often carefully calculated and designed to exploit any remaining vulnerabilities you might have. Their goal is not genuine reconciliation but to re-establish their dominance and secure their flow of narcissistic supply. The more resistant you are, the more covert and potentially insidious their hoovering attempts might become. 3. The secret launch of a more vicious smear campaign. When a narcissist knows they've lost you for good, and their attempts to hoover you back are failing, their fear of being seen as the loser or the one who is abandoned can trigger a more intense and often secretive smear campaign. They need to control the narrative, to portray themselves in a positive light and you in a negative one, especially to their new sources of supply and their social circle. Psychologically, this is a defense mechanism to protect their fragile ego and to preemptively discredit you in case you ever speak out about your experiences. Behind your back, they might spread malicious rumors, fabricate stories, and twist events to paint you as unstable, vindictive, or even abusive. They might subtly turn mutual friends against you, creating an environment where you feel isolated and unsupported. This smear campaign is often conducted covertly, using gossip and innuendo, making it difficult for you to directly address the falsehoods being spread. Their aim is to damage your reputation and ensure that others see you as the problem, thus validating their decision to move on and protecting their own carefully constructed image. 4. The secret obsession and monitoring of your life. Even though they might project an image of being completely over you and thriving without you, narcissists often secretly obsess over their former partners, especially when they know the relationship is truly over. They might engage in covert monitoring of your social media, your activities, and your new relationships. Psychologically, this obsession is driven by several factors. Firstly, they still see you as a potential source of supply and want to know if you are suffering without them or if you might be vulnerable to their advances again. Secondly, they are deeply competitive and insecure and want to see if you are doing better than them, which can trigger significant envy and narcissistic injury. Thirdly, their sense of ownership and control over you might persist even after the breakup, leading them to feel entitled to know what you are doing. This secret monitoring can range from casual social media stalking to more intrusive behaviors, all fueled by their inability to truly let go and their need to maintain a connection, however distorted, to their former source of supply. 5. The secret attempts to sabotage your happiness. A narcissist's ego is deeply threatened by the idea that you might be happier without them. If they perceive that you are moving on, building a fulfilling life, and forming healthy new relationships, this can trigger intense envy and a secret desire to sabotage your happiness. Psychologically, your happiness without them contradicts their internal narrative that you needed them and that they were somehow superior or indispensable. Your thriving existence becomes a painful reminder of their own inadequacies and their inability to maintain a healthy relationship. Behind the scenes, they might try to interfere in your new relationships, spread rumors to your new partner, or even attempt to undermine your career or personal achievements. These attempts at sabotage are often subtle and manipulative, designed to create chaos and instability in your life without directly implicating them. Their goal is to see you struggle, to validate their belief that you cannot be truly happy without them, and to potentially create an opening for them to re-enter your life as the savior. 6. The secret reevaluation and potential idealization of the lost supply. Paradoxically, when a narcissist realizes they have truly lost you, and their attempts to regain control are failing, they might secretly engage in a reevaluation of the relationship and even fleetingly idealize the lost supply you once provided. This isn't genuine remorse or a sudden realization of your worth as a person. Instead, it's a recognition of the specific ways in which you catered to their ego needs. Psychologically, this idealization is driven by their current deficit in narcissistic supply. Their new sources might not be as reliable or as potent as you were in providing the specific kind of validation they craved. They might remember the times you showered them with praise, the ways you catered to their demands, or even the dramatic reactions you gave them, all of which fed their ego. This secret idealization is not about missing you, but about missing the supply you provided. It's a self-serving reflection driven by their current needs and can be a precursor to another hoovering attempt if they perceive an opportunity. 7. The secret playing of the victim card to others. The poor me routine. When a narcissist knows they've lost you permanently, they often ramp up their victim narrative with others. They need to maintain sympathy and support from their social circle and secure alternative sources of narcissistic supply. Behind the scenes, they might paint themselves as the injured party, the one who was wronged, misunderstood, or even abused by you. Psychologically, this victim portrayal serves several purposes. It allows them to avoid taking any responsibility for the relationship's demise, protects their fragile ego from the shame of being abandoned, and elicits sympathy and validation from others, thus providing them with the narcissistic supply they crave. They might exaggerate your flaws, distort events, and present themselves as bravely enduring your mistreatment. This poor me routine is often a carefully crafted performance designed to manipulate others and maintain their desired image. 8. The secret, underlying fear of being alone and unmasked. At the core of narcissistic personality disorder lies a deep-seated fear of being alone and of being exposed for their true, vulnerable selves. When a significant source of supply like you walks away permanently, it can trigger these primal fears in a profound way, even if they don't outwardly show it. Psychologically, their entire life is a carefully constructed defense against these underlying feelings of inadequacy and emptiness. Your departure signifies a failure of their defenses, a loss of control over someone who knew them intimately. Behind their bravado or indifference, they might secretly grapple with the terrifying prospect of facing their inner void without the constant external validation they rely on. This fear can fuel their desperate attempts to regain control, secure new supply, and maintain their carefully constructed facade. The silence your absence creates can be deafening to them internally, forcing them to confront the very demons they have been running from their entire lives. So, when a narcissist arrives at the chilling and undeniable realization that you will never truly return, their outward behavior, whether it's a display of cold indifference, a show of false happiness, or a fit of rage, is nothing more than a carefully constructed smokescreen. This facade is meant to conceal a profound and secret internal turmoil, a psychological crisis of immense proportions. The definitive loss of your narcissistic supply, which they depended on to regulate their sense of self, is an earth-shattering event. The very idea that they no longer have control over you, a fundamental pillar of their fragile worldview, becomes an unbearable threat. This existential fear of having to face their own inner emptiness, the deep-seated shame they have spent a lifetime running from, all triggers a devastating cascade of hidden, frantic, and often malevolent actions. Their desperate and pathological need to protect their fragile ego and find new validation elsewhere becomes the sole driving force behind a series of behaviors. This can manifest in intensified hoovering attempts that are more persistent and cunning than ever before, as they attempt one last time to reel you back in. They might also launch vicious smear campaigns, secretly spreading lies and falsehoods about you behind your back to anyone who will listen, all to control the narrative and preserve their public image. Their behavior is often marked by secret obsessions with your new life, where they monitor your every move, and they may even engage in subtle, insidious attempts to sabotage your happiness, as your peace and success are the ultimate threat to their existence. Every single one of these actions is a direct result of their internal panic. Understanding these secret behaviors isn't about giving the narcissist power over you or indulging in a desire for revenge. Instead, its purpose is to provide you with profound clarity and a deep sense of validation for everything you've endured. By knowing what is likely happening beneath the surface, the private panic, the desperate scramble for supply, you are no longer a passive participant in their drama. This knowledge empowers you to hold firm to your boundaries, to see through their continued manipulations for what they are, and to confidently continue on your path of healing and self-discovery. Your brave decision to walk away from the chaos was not a moment of weakness or a futile gesture. It was a powerful act that almost certainly triggered a far more significant internal crisis for them than they would ever reveal. This realization can be incredibly liberating, shifting your perspective from one of feeling a victim to one of recognizing your own power. It is absolutely crucial to remember that your personal well-being is the single most important thing. This is your life, and your peace is non-negotiable. Now that you are free from their influence, you can channel all of the energy you once spent on them back into yourself. Focus on nurturing your healing journey, cultivating new relationships that are built on mutual respect and genuine care. and rebuilding the sense of self that was eroded during the abuse. Trust deeply in your decision to create a life free from the toxicity of narcissistic abuse. This path may have its challenges, but you have already proven your incredible strength and resilience. You have walked through fire and come out the other side. You deserve to live a life filled with joy, authenticity, and peace.